bird flu detected in a second Oklahoma poultry flock. The House launches an online portal for Oklahomans to suggest government efficiency improvements and research on white nose syndrome in bats. That and more coming up on the KGOU AM News Brief for Wednesday, December 11th. I'm Nick Daniels. A second commercial poultry flock in northeast Oklahoma is positive for the highly pathogenic avian influenza. Anna Pope has the latest.
Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry officials say more than 40,000 birds were culled after the virus was detected on Sunday. This comes after a different flock of more than 60,000 chickens were euthanized to contain the virus in the same county last month. Agriculture experts say detections of the virus are typically higher as wild birds migrate. Lee Benson, a department spokesperson, says because wild waterfowl can carry the virus, the department is communicating with producers.
So it's a situation where we do our best to stay in contact with as many poultry producers as we can, and not just poultry producers, but other livestock producers and USDA, and really stress biosecurity.
Benson says the state has established a so-called control zone in Adair and Delaware County. In the area, poultry movement is restricted to limit the flu's spread. I'm Anna Pope.
House Speaker-elect Kyle Hilbert wants input from Oklahomans on how their state government could be more efficient. The House launched a new online portal Tuesday.
Hilbert says his chamber's new government efficiency portal piggybacks on the incoming Trump administration's new Department of Government Efficiency, abbreviated to DOGE, like the popular meme. Run by Elon Musk and former GOP presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, DOGE is not an actual government agency, but an advisory board meant to guide the incoming president on how and where to cut federal spending. Hilbert is asking Oklahomans how their state government can do the same. According to a press release, answers should be submitted by Oklahomans with, quote, firsthand experience with duplicative and wasteful spending of taxpayer dollars. Examples of that waste will be submitted to House fiscal leaders for review in connection with next year's budget allocations. I'm Lionel Ramos.
The Broken Arrow School Board is weighing a proposal to lower the number of school days to 4 a week. Robbie Korth has this report.
The move would make Broken Arrow the largest district in the state with a 4-day week. The calendar is popular in rural schools. It's touted as a teacher recruitment and retention tool as Oklahoma struggles with an educator shortage. But logistical challenges in such a large district are intimidating. What would happen to the thousands of kids needing daycare on the 5th day they'd normally be in school? How would the move impact academic outcomes? Broken Arrow's school board president Steve Allen leans toward pumping the brakes.
I think we got to continue to work to look for answers to the challenges instead of force this down the community's throat. Just say, we're doing it, by God, let's go.
The school board must decide by February if the next school year will feature a 4-day week. I'm Robbie Korth.
Bats in western Oklahoma caves face an uncertain future because of white nose syndrome. State Impact's Chloe Bennett Steele reports researchers remain hopeful as they monitor the bats.
Bats are among farmers' oldest defense against pests, but a deadly fungus that has already killed large portions of certain species of bat in the eastern U.S. might be spreading in Oklahoma. Among those is the tricolored bat. A new study from the University of Central Oklahoma tracked the population size of that species within some of the state's gypsum caves. It estimates those bats declined from about 700 in 2005 to just 34 this year, at least in part from human activity, pollution, pesticides, wind turbines. But the fungal disease is in Oklahoma and could also be to blame. UCO researcher Linda Lauk says there's a possibility the bats are adapting to the disease.
Yes, we're seeing some hits, but I'm hopeful that we're not going to see, big die-offs. I think that every year, and so far, so good.
Lauk says tricolored bats in Oklahoma might be more prepared for white nose syndrome than their eastern counterparts were when it was first discovered in 2006. For State Impact, I'm Chloe Bennett Steele.
More news at our website, kgou.org, and on the KGOU PM News Brief podcast.
We could all use a little help navigating the news these days. The Consider This podcast wants to give you a hand. 6 days a week, we'll help you make sense of the day's biggest news story and what it means for you in less than 15 minutes. Listen now to the Consider This podcast from NPR.